Good morning to you from the Kymiring in Finland. Yep, it's Kymiring. My name's Andrew Coley. Hal Ridge alongside me. Hal, a very nice man, told us this morning, didn't he? And we believe him. I mean, he could be hoodwinking us.
Yeah, he could be sending us right
Imagine
under the Finnish bus.
Yeah, I'll see about that.
Here comes the Finnish pronunciation bus.
Yeah, he came past on his little scooter and he said, it's Kymiring. He said, there's a river nearby, Kymi something. And we were like, okay, fair go. There we go, Kymiring. So the man on YouTube was right. Sorry, mate, fair go. This is Simon Tiger, Mikko Ikonen, and who's missing? Hal? Sari. I've just had a message come through actually about blown engines. So Uti Ikonen and Mikko Sari both blew their engines. So it's Hammer, of course, in the Skoda.
Ikonen had a terrible failure yesterday where the oil pump pulley came off on the engine and the timing belt went all very slack, and yeah, that was game over. What a shame.
Yeah, expensive shame.
Mikko Ikonen, her husband had that spin and got collected by Simon Tiger, didn't he? Remember we saw Tiger going slowly at the end of the session. And I have to say, Andrew, the loose is looking absolutely fantastic at this stage of the day. Look how smooth it is compared to yesterday. That is a night and day difference to the quality of the loose surface section.
Yeah, I mean, we need to give that some context, don't we?
Emil Hammer's been
Hammer time
for a spin. Just dropped it on the exit. It is pretty wet. They put a lot of water on the circuit as well. But yeah, Ikonen spanned just there at on the main circuit, and said that it was so bumpy that the dampers hit the bump stops, and then he couldn't do anything about it, and they got collected by Tiger.
Simon Tiger's gone for the whole sort of matte black front end for the loose things. Hal, like, seems to have just completely repainted the front end of the car. Plain white wing for Ikonen. Is that from the contact? Yes, so maybe it's the double contact for them, isn't it?
It was the contact for both of them, yeah.
Well, so just had to go. Tell you what.
Here's the spare panels.
We'll just rattle can that. Hope you had a nice evening, everybody. Me and Hal spent it with, 2 Swedes, 4 Hungarians, a hot tub. A Latvian, yeah. That sounds pretty dodgy, doesn't it? A mad little Finnish hotel in the middle of nowhere, which was very nice. All the birds singing this morning. And they've got, like, Finns love a sauna. So it's like a sauna, a hot tub, and luckily it's kind of in this little indoor room because the bugs here, I don't know if we mentioned the bugs yesterday, but wow, you could run a Dakar stage over the lumps on me and Hal. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You'd need your Rigers, your proper dampers on to be able to get up and down my legs. My goodness me. I found a Mozzie in my room last night, got it. Took me ages to find it. You know when you can just hear that noise? I was like, where are you? I was using the little bedside light like a wartime searchlight, trying to find its shadow on the wall. I found it, nailed it. Not really a big fan of executing stuff, but Mozzies are on the list. Look at that, Hal. 70 truckloads was the latest update of material bought in by Tapanen. So Tapanen's family are obviously in that kind of game, and they bought in an enormous amount of material and apparently have worked all night. So we'll have to see how it holds up. As you can see, it's looking a lot more solid than it was yesterday, and fair play to them, Hal, for the amount. I think one of the cool things here is the way that the people within Rallycross of RallyX have pulled together. You look at yesterday, Eric Varn's dad out driving machines. Now we've got Tapanen and bringing in a load of material and machines overnight. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, the Tapanen family were involved from the offset in once we were here, and clearly yesterday the trouble with material is you can't, if you don't have it on site, you can't necessarily get it immediately. So there'll be a lot of acquisition. Moving material isn't the job of a moment either, is it, with the infrastructure required to do that. So yeah, clearly loads of effort being put in, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
the list of Simon Tiger took that one with, what did he do, 3:23.2. I know we shouldn't compare, but we're going to. Wow. Okay, that's faster than Tuomas Venäläinen went yesterday to win Q2. So that's actually the fastest time of the weekend so far in Open Tool Drive. Looking at the track, I'm not surprised. It's like super smooth. List of blown engines, yeah. Sari, Venäläinen, Uti Ikonen and Penttinen, apparently. Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Henry, for the message.
Penttinen must have been in the Supercar, I guess. Wonderful to see that back today. Confirmation of the result. Simon Tiger from Mikko Ikonen and Emil Hammer. Race 2. And we are missing Venäläinen, so presumably they don't have a spare engine for that car. Johansson, Jensen, Gabrielsen, and Jensen.
I'll ask Henry Rantanen because he is one of Thomas's team. I'll just put spare engine question mark and let's see if they come back with anything. I would have thought not, because surely you'd want to get it done, wouldn't you, overnight?
Yeah, and there's been no warm-up today. So, yeah, unusually we're straight into racing.
So Victor Johansson, Christian Jensen, Lucas Gabrielsen and Peder Jensen. Victor at the minute is in the TQ spot with a P1 and a P2. Venäläinen was in second, but as we've already established, he's missing. Lucas Gabrielsen gets a brilliant start in the little Starlet. Normally gets out-dragged to turn 1 by the Mercedes, but not today. Let's go, Lucas Gabrielsen. Gabrielsen has got to come to more events, Hal.
He is doing, I think he's doing the full season.
Right, good. Well, that's what I want to see. But that's not what I want to see. What's going on here? We've got to... Oh, there it is. We're back. We're back. Luckily, nothing happened. Nobody worried. Nothing happened while we weren't looking.
Does a tree make a noise if it falls over in the woods when no one sees it?
Yeah, it's true. Hears it. Sees it. Sees it. Hears it. Sees it. Yeah. It's a bit like Ghostbusters, isn't it? Listen, do you smell something? Do you remember that line?
No.
It's that early in the morning, and that we're already onto the pop culture things that Hal hasn't seen. You must have seen Ghostbusters, though.
No.
Come on! You've never seen Ghostbusters?
I know the theme tune.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, very serious.
Oh my God! Even Peter Hellman, the producer, is shaking his head. You've never seen Ghostbusters?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh my God! So you don't know who Slimer is?
No.
Oh my God! Why is it a revelation? Get the YouTube comments up. Anybody who's watching, I know it's early, maybe nobody's watching, but please.
It's 7 o'clock in the UK, mate.
Lay into Hal Rich. Like, what are you on about? How can you not have seen Ghostbusters? Gabrielsen continues to lead. It is early, sorry. It was a long day yesterday, I know. I just feel this feels like a continuation of, we're on to qualifying 19. No, we're not really. We're looking forward to today. Q3 and Q4. So we were talking yesterday whether or not there would be a Q4. Thanks to the hard work put in on the track, there will be a Q4. And I have to say, at the minute, it's looking good. We were going to have a track maintenance break between Supercar Lites and Open four-wheel drive. So we do 4 races, have a little break, and then continue. But I'm wondering if they'll do a track inspection. Hal and go, you know what, we're golden, let's crack on.
Maybe Rainers will set the fastest time of the day.
In his Kia, what is it?
Chigunta, or Dink, or whatever you call it.
Small, yeah, small Kia. So Johansson went joker.
Is it a Kia?
I don't actually know. I think it's a Kia, yeah.
Johansson was very fair in the first corner, wasn't he? As Gabrielsen sent it around the outside. Victor is, if you were going to turn in on anyone in the RallyX paddock, you'd turn in on Victor, wouldn't you? Because he'd go, oh, I'm not going to turn you round, because he's a gent, isn't he?
They're waving, okay, they're waving the white flag again. Remember last night, they were the Hungarians go, why are they all waving the white flag all the time? But on this occasion, I get it. Jensen is going slowly. So, yeah, and that's why, basically.
Big shame to lose Venäläinen there, because had brilliant pace and...
Well, potentially event winner. Like, didn't go that well in...
won a couple of years ago in Kovala, didn't he? Remember?
It didn't go that well in Q1, unfortunately, but went well enough. Yeah, was it last year or the year before?
Andrew goes for the stats.
Yeah,
well,
no,
maybe
second
sometime.
last year. It was second last year. Let me check 2023, Hal, because my memory, as you well know, is rubbish. I don't know. I don't think... Did he win? No, he's at a...
22 then.
20. You reckon he won in 22? Dig deep here, mate. Gabrielsen, what's the time? Is it enough? No. 3:26.6. Let's check 2022 and see what the Ridge Racer says. Well, if you did win, it was a double win. Was it a double win? No, that's Olli Lahti.
Yeah, maybe it was just a podium.
He's been on the podium nearly every time there.
Okay.
Oh man, I wanted him to win. Imagine that.
That was a brilliant time from Gabrielsen, but not brilliant enough to beat Tiger, who was flying then. This is where
what was Tiger saying yesterday? You can't use the power because it's too rough. Now suddenly the track's all smooth. He's happy to have 8 million horsepower again, isn't he?
8 million and 5 now. They've been working on it all night.
Yeah. Change one little thing. Take that wing off the back and they go another 50 mile an hour faster, I'm sure. Gabrielsen wins the second race of Open Tool Drive. Tell you what, if they carry on like that, Al, there's a chance we'll be down to 1 race for them in Q4. a race of attrition.
What class is that?
Le Mans. Anyone watching Le Mans? What's going on? Anyone watching us? Is it too early?
There's 292 people watching now.
Are there? Wow.
293.
Oh.
Thank you to whoever just joined.
Good morning. You've all missed the fact that Hal Ridge has not seen the movie Ghostbusters.
How many times are you going to repeat that today?
All day. I can't. Literally, I could understand if you hadn't seen some niche thing, or although I'd be annoyed about it, I'd even understand if you weren't into Star Wars and you'd not seen those movies. But to have not seen Ghostbusters,
I've seen Star Wars.
That's a good thing. Actually, I would be a bit disappointed if you hadn't seen Star Wars as well.
Star Trek, though, is more niche.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mind a Star Trek movie.
What do you get
called?
called?
A Khan, you know,
a Trekkie, or
huh?
What are you called? A Trekkie?
Yeah, I'm not a Trekkie. No, I do like Star Wars though. I'm watching Andor.
Do you have you love all the figures and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I sold all my Star Wars stuff recently. Actually, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, good money. Been sat in a box for 25 years. I thought,
you regret that in 15 years' time when it's all
they're worth £10 million. Yeah.
Polly, why do we sell all that stuff? Rah.
There's a collection of figures called The Last something, I can't remember what it is, The Last 18 or something, and it turns out I had 11 of them. So yeah, we did all right. We did all right.
The last 18 and I had 11.
I had an R2D2 with a pop-up lightsaber. The pop-up lightsaber was worth an absolute fortune because most people lost them, but I was a little bit anal with my toys, so I used to really keep them all together with their guns, and it turns out that that's the difference with Star Wars figures. Don't know that they would have liked the fact that all the Stormtroopers had A written on the bottom of the foot, because I didn't want my brothers playing with my Stormtroopers. Very in true Toy Story style, way before Toy Story was out, all my figures had a marker pen A on the bottom. What are you up to, Nicholas? What's he doing, Hal?
I don't know why you don't just sit down, to be honest, mate. Have a sofa.
Sit on the sofa. Kevin Darback, Pontus Oscarson, Tobias Darback, Robin Norlander and Phoebe Cake. So it's a better start by Phoebe this time. She's got to stand the throttle and use all the revs. She knows that. But it is one of the two Darbacks leading down into turn one. It's the one with less numbers, so it's Tobias. Tobias runs 93. Kevin runs 193, so it's a Darback 1-2.
Oscarson doing well in the background to force his way through on the inside and move up a position, using his track position. This is a good run from Cake as well relative to yesterday. Clearly much closer to the pack.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Andrew, with the contrast again in this studio on the monitors and those two Darback machines, I can't tell the difference between either of them.
No, I can't either. Sorry. Like, go for a yellow bonnet on one and a red one on the other. That'll do. I'm
pretty sure it's Tobias.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So it's the one with less numbers. So Tobias is 93, and his brother Kevin is 193. So all you can do really is look at the yellow blob on the rear window and see is it less or more, which is the number stickers.
Norlander Jokers on the top of your picture now in the red machine. Phoebe Cake on the inside, but Norlander's going to have the run down the hill. Good observant spotting from Norlander's spotter to get him in and out, and now get the hammer down. Oscarson was strong, as I said, in turn two up the inside. Oscarson working the car there through turn one on this second lap. I've been impressed with Pontus Oscarson, not just with his performance the last couple of weekends, but he really progressed in Crosscar Junior towards the end of his tenure there, and I think he's clearly, quietly going about becoming a very accomplished little driver.
Phoebe Cake in the background. We spoke to her dad this morning. They had a master cylinder change on the brakes yesterday, and that caught her out a bit. The bias was a bit different than she thought. Still learning. Look at the track out. It's holding up brilliantly so far. I know we only had 3 runs, but even those 3 runs, it looks better than yesterday, doesn't it?
Much better, yeah. They've done massive amounts of work, as we've said several times. Oscarson gets a bit sideways, chooses not to joke again, so he's going to follow the two Darback brothers throughout. This is all about just trying to get as much space between him and Norlander behind. What's the gap as they cross the line? A 3-second margin Tobias has over his brother, which is very impressive indeed. 3.1 is the gap between Oscarson and Norlander. That is going to be pretty close, but you would also argue that Oscarson will be in a better position having the momentum coming out of the Joker, and if Norlander can't cover off the inside as we saw yesterday. I wonder if people will have watched any of the footage yesterday and seen how people have treated that Joker merge, because it was Ikonen, wasn't it, in the Hyundai that bailed, because Ikonen's another gentleman and doesn't run into people. But I would have
I think
maybe gone left and kept stayed in the throttle.
You get to the ruthlessness of the very top guys, and I think there will be less of that.
Yeah, and
more door slamming, as in, yeah, trying to close the door, and if not, I'll hit you in the door. It is high speed, the merge. Okay, so the two Darbacks go Joker, they are in the clear. Come on, what are you looking for?
On the
mistake by Oskarsson to run wide on the Joker. Unfortunately, yeah, just ran a little bit wide, over-rotated and managed to avoid the barriers on the outside, but cost a lot of time. Easy run here for the Darbacks. They got lucky that Oskarsson didn't get a brilliant start there, didn't they? And just allowed them to move into P1 and P2 and it just in a straight line.
I think that was the first great start from Phoebe Cake as well. Reacted at the same time as everybody was there until turn 2, and yeah, that was Oskarsson getting up the inside of Norlander. What a shame just to make that little mistake in the background, pushing hard because it was going to be close, wasn't it, at the Joker merge?
Yeah. Tobias Darback 3:16.0, an idea of yesterday's pace, 3:15.2 and 3:13.9 were the two winning times. So, assuming Anderson gets away well here, or Vittles, or Mounier to be fair, we could get an idea of how quick the track is. Yesterday it varied massively as the sessions went on. It would start wet, but then it would cut up and get quite rutted. Today, say there's 70 truckloads of material have gone into it. And maybe we won't do the same thing. Maybe we won't have to have a break in the middle of the session. You're right there, Hal, you got a bug in your ear. Let's go, come on. That's great, let's go racing. Everybody's keen.
Jag pratar på i bägge två, får vi se vad du säger om du tycker att det är någonting som är kul.
Anderson's got a terrible start. Vittels gets away well. Hagstrom on the outside. Well, it's two in, and Larsen as well. Larsen might get there alongside Vittels. Not quite. Tries to shut the door on Hagstrom inside. Hagstrom still looking as they run into turn 2, and Hagstrom just fires it to the side. Going to lose a position on the exit there. So Mounier manages to go through into P2. Mounier, the biggest gain there, really, but a clean start by Vittels in the way.
Thank you very much, chaps. Mounier's thinking as they got into each other and left the door wide open, and Julian was like, yeah, I'll take that, cheers. I'll get after Roberts if you two boys are going to keep squabbling down there.
Hagstrom was late with the pass, wasn't he, into turn 2? I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't on, he was 100% the inside. There was a fair bit of contact as well. You're above Hagstrom now with Vigo in the drone. A little bit sideways from Mounier as he gets out from the tarmac into the dirty gravel line on the outside. Great shot there of coming off the Joker lap, and that's where it is full straight line from the Joker, but if you do that, there is no room for the person on the inside, so you have to know you've got it. I think you're going to end up leaving a car's width if you're not sure if their nose is inside the rear three-quarter or not. Double wave yellows here, so who has parked it? Somebody has. Not quite sure why there are double wave yellows when there's no car in the track. There you go. Maybe they're just having a little practice with the flags, Hal.
Yeah, absolutely. They have had plenty of practice yesterday, haven't they? The track is looking really good. We are still going to have a maintenance break between lights and open four-wheel drive because there's a tyre barrier that needs repairing or something. Where this event gains today is that there's plenty of time for them to do such things, because normally we'd be doing free practice. Yeah. Q1, Q2, Q3, semis and finals. We've got the remainder of Q3 to do, which we're largely through now, and then Q4 and semis and finals. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that means we can keep the track in great condition. What we really want to see is how it races, don't we, later on, is how it races in when you've got all cars out on track and the conditions are nice and smooth.
Oh, Anderson whatever the problem is pretty bad, causing him to lose enough time to be lapped. You may as well stop now, Lucas, because there's no point in continuing, sadly.
Yeah, once we clarified this with Fraz last night, didn't we? If you get lapped in a rallycross race, you are officially a DNF.
Really?
To some regulations. He goes, really? Oh. Like,
Good to know.
Don't drag it round, mate.
Oh, I can't do a Fraz accent.
Yeah, you
I
can.
wish I
That wasn't
could.
bad. The really was quite good. Really?
Read the regs, man.
Going to be close at the merge, closer than I thought. Mounier, he's got this, isn't he?
Job done.
Mounier comes, so Vittles loses out on the line. Mounier gets it. Julian Mounier's last lap, 59.5. That's what the FC2s were doing yesterday. So track conditions are definitely better today. 3:14.4 would have seen him in between the winning time of Q1 and Q2 for Luke Anderson. So Anderson has had a little bit of a shocker there, but obviously that was off the line as well. So yeah, Julian Mounier wins the session with a 3:14.4. And I think we're going to head to the sofas, are we? We're going to head to the sofas? Is that what we're doing? Yeah, I think so. Right, stay with us. We're going to relocate. Yeah, Julian Mounier, the winner of that session. We are joined by Tobias Darback. Where's Tobias? Let's have a look. 3:14, 3:14. You're P3, Tobias. Yeah, Tobias, how's it going?
Going good.
Yeah, man. Decent race for you boys last time out there. A P1 and a P2.
Yeah,
Easy start when Oscarson dropped back. That's nice, isn't it?
it's nice to get a good start. It's always perfect. I think the start is very important on this track because the overtake opportunities are not that big. I think it's the joker that decides. Yeah.
How track conditions look good, don't they?
Yeah, the track was much better today. I guess that makes it a bit more pleasurable to drive out there in Q3.
The track is much better today. Yesterday the car was jumping all over the track, and today it's more stable, so you know where the car is out there. So much better today.
And more importantly, nice to get one over on your brother, because Kevin's getting a bit quick lately, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Do you guys share data? Or do you look at each other's lap times, or are you starting to keep secrets from him now he's getting a bit faster?
We look at each other's onboard cameras and trying to share the setup, which one is good for me or him, and try to compromise for both cars. But yeah, he's getting quick.
That's good though, isn't it? I mean, that's the aim, I guess, if the two of you are working together, you both want to be up there and challenging for the title.
Yeah, exactly.
Supercar Lites in general, you've a lot of experience, haven't you? Multiple titles in crosscar in Denmark. You raced a couple of supercars for a while, but how have you found the Supercar Lites experience so far?
I think the Supercar Lites class is a very fun class to drive. I think the car is very easy to drive, but when you need to get the last tenths of a second, it's getting really hard to find those. But I think Supercar Lites is a very fun car to drive.
And of course, we've seen the FC2 now. Lots of people are modifying their Supercar Lites into FC2s. With the modifications you've seen now and how quick the FC2 looks against the Supercar, do you think you guys might consider upgrading from Supercar Lites to FC2 or no?
Maybe at some point, if we have to drive Supercar, we got one at home, and maybe we can use that. And I think the FC2 is getting there, but I don't think it's there
quite there yet.
Quite yet. So yeah.
Supercar later in the year or Lights all year?
lights all year.
What's the Supercar doing? Nothing?
We're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Hal, do you want to rent a Supercar?
I'm good, thank you. I've got my own that costs a lot of money.
Hal's got no money left because he's finished his rallycross car that he took to RallyX. So now we have a saying in the UK which is that he is skint, which means he has no money.
That is true.
And he's laughing because he knows it's true.
Yeah.
Hal, going to be a good day, I think, looking at track conditions. Like, genuinely, I'm interested to see. They're saying, I think, 16 is when we're going back on. I haven't got my phone, so I can't even see what the time is. What's the time now?
27.
So that can't be right then.
No, it was 16
36.
minutes, but I don't know when we started.
16 minutes, sorry. Yeah, go on. What are you saying, Calla? When are we back on racing? Okay, 13 minutes, 9:40. So, yeah. So do you think they need a big track repair now, or do you think it was okay?
In my heat, it was okay, but I don't know how the track is now. But if it stays like this the whole day, I think it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, me too.
There is the time available, isn't there? The way that the day's structured, and I think if you can, it's like anything, isn't it? If you let your paint job on your car or your livery get really bad, you've got to redo the whole thing. If you repair it as you're going along, then you can just fix it in little pieces.
Tidy.
Similar to the track. If you can be repairing small holes as they appear, then you're not going to have to deal with the massive big holes when it's gone too far. So I think, very sensibly, they're using these breaks just to keep on top of the small details.
I think there's probably also a hint here of yesterday and worrying about how the track was yesterday. You know, they're still in the mode they were in yesterday, which is where the track was falling apart very quickly. And maybe today they won't need the little breaks, but certainly I don't think we'll be compressing it and finishing at 2 o'clock, will we, mate?
No. But that's fine. Whole day of rallycross. What's not love?
Yeah, exactly. It's great. It's great.
Tobias, what's a good result for you today? I know everyone wants to win every time they start, but your season's been a bit up and down. I think that's fair.
Yeah, well, the couple of last races has been really a big disappointing for me. The result is not what I hoped for, so I just hope for a better result this time. I just think a podium will be really nice. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Hello.
Hi, Hal. Nice to meet you. Who are you? Come in, mate.
Grab a stick, Hal, and we'll switch one of those on as well. Switch it on. Oh, it's going out to the engineer.
Oh, that was easy.
There we go. Switch.
There you go, mate.
Cheers.
Good stuff. So just quickly before we fit, you're all good, mate. You're on. Don't worry. It's on.
Sennheiser, it's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's an expensive one.
No, he's an expert on microphones.
Don't nick it.
My sister is singing, you know, so I'm been around.
Yeah, nice one. Mate, how's it going? You happy?
Well, never happy if you're not first, but well, we are getting there. It's also for me a lot of new stuff to learn with this car on the gravel. I mean, the track is fantastic, and I think the crew and everyone here overnight has done a massive job to get the track to this condition. So if you can keep up during the day like this, I think it will be a fantastic race till the finals. Yeah,
we're looking forward to seeing how it will race. I mean, we know that the overtaking opportunities are limited, but I think it's fair to say that's true of most rallycross tracks. I think the Joker's good and is a good opportunity. I like the fact the Joker is quite technical, both on the entry and the exit coming down the hill. There's an opportunity there for people to make mistakes. The merge is good, and I love turn one. I think there's a lot of opportunities in turn one. Even if you lose the starter on the outside, you're not guaranteed to be in turn two first.
Yeah, exactly. I think this track has a little bit of everything, you know. First tarmac corner, it's wide, like you said, a lot of opportunities. Then we head into the very nice and flowing gravel section where you can really push hard, go with the high speed. It's not like typical gravel corners when you need to slow down, rotate the car, and then wait patiently. Here you can just go in, throttle, go out. That's nice. So yesterday with the holes, it was a little bit rough. So you're kind of balancing between getting some damage and being fast. So today, yeah, if guys can keep up the track like this, I think we will have a fantastic day today.
How are you enjoying being in the Supercar Lites class, mate? We've known each other quite a long time now. You've done a lot in the Baltics, but also internationally, British Championship, Super 600 Supercar. You've driven in the World Championship Support class a bit. How are you finding the Lites experience here in RallyX?
Well, to be honest, it's a little bit of a difficult switch having done all this previously and then going to the Lites car, because you know, Lites, it's engine in the back, different weight balance, so it's kind of a different style of driving, more like a cross-car driving, but with a car. So I think the guys who are stepping up from the cross-car juniors, they are quite good with the Supercar Lites, and I think we have seen that in many races. So Supercar, Super 1600, everything I have done before is more like driving on the nose. You have the weight in front, so you kinda guide where you want the car to go, and it goes. Now you need to drive more like a cross kart. I mean, we drove cross kart with Tobias in, I think it was 2015-16 in North European Zone Championship. So we also come from that background, but it's been quite like 10 years now. So, but it's nice. I think Lites class category is a great concept for everyone in rallycross. It's like, I think, the perfect middle step, coming from cross kart or slower category classes to the Lites, and then you have the opportunity to step up to FC2 or Supercar or whatever you want to drive. So, and again, it has a little bit of both. You need to be aggressive, you need to have a sideways on the gravel to rotate the car, and then you again need to be smooth on tarmac to get the car not to step out, to have a good line. So I think it has a little bit of everything, and then it's actually quite enjoyable to drive.
We asked Tobias earlier on about FC2.
Yeah.
Would you consider that as a next step? I mean, I know you've done Supercar before. It's quite difficult for you. What are you doing? Are you trying to figure out where to go with your driving career?
Yeah, I mean, the concept of FC2 definitely has given us this taste of what we can get next, and obviously, when buying the Supercar Lites car, we have this image in a long time that we can go up to FC2, because now also Ericssons are working hard to develop FC2 class, and here we see that it's already going in front of Supercars. So you know, with everything how Supercar category has changed over the past years in rallycross in general, I think FC2 is like really great way to go into the fastest category of rallycross, still be competitive, still within budget, you know, within like budget that is not going
Crazy.
into the sky every year. So yeah, it's definitely in sight.
Sweet.
We had Eric Farin in the studio yesterday, your team boss, and known Eric a long time, of course, and he's seen a lot, hasn't he? I was saying to him actually that he has massive experience from all sorts of different teams and things that he's done, but you also come with a big experience. So whereas he's used to dealing with some young drivers or new drivers, it's actually quite a nice position for you both to be in, that you're working together at a point where you
speak the same language.
Well, kind of. His Latvian is improving a little bit, isn't it? But you've proved yourselves. You're both very capable. So there's not like a desperation to win every time you go on track. You can work together to try and improve.
It still is.
I just wonder if it's different, that you know that sometimes you have to be second in a qualifying race, because that will ultimately do you better at the end of the event. Whereas when you're a young driver just stepping up, you need to win every time to prove yourself. It must be quite a nice environment to work with someone so experienced in that way.
Yes, of course. Eric is a nice guy. You know, the whole family, the team, guys, we are working together. They're all like, the first moment we stepped into the tent together with the team, it felt like a very home feeling, and obviously we are all trying our best to work together, move forwards. Eric brings a lot of experience in both direct in the Supercar Lites category and as well as in rallycross in general, you know, and it plays out in you know, strategy-wise, how we set the day up, how we manage races and runs. So yeah, I think it's nice to be in such environment that you know that you are speaking kind of in the same rallycross or motorsport language. You understand each other from like half a board. So it's very easy to work that way. It's very easy to progress, and for us both, and I think for the team in general, the only goal is to win each run that we start. No matter if we are last or first, the goal is to win. now as well. I mean, we have, you know, during all these past years, we have set the level such high that now everything, if I come back not first, then everything is like a little bit not like a failure, but it's not it. Even if you finish second, then it's not like cheers and smiles. It's like serious. Okay.
Yeah, your targets are high. The benchmark has moved.
Yeah. And you know, it's also it's fun to be in that kind of environment and feeling. Yeah. So.
The foreign team obviously feels like family. I get that. I said to Eric yesterday I'd happily drive for him. I would need a calming influence, and I in a team, just because I'd be like, oh no, I'm all worried about everything. That's just me. And Eric would be good at that. I know he would. But Tobias, your team is a family team, and so it's not just a family feeling team like Eric's team is. You're running it with the family. Yeah. How's that? Because it can't always be easy.
It's not always easy, but yeah, it's a big fun because. Some families are going out to watch some football, and we just have the motorsport together. So we spend a lot of time together, and yeah, I think it's worth it. So
so not too many arguments.
We try to stay them low. So yeah.
He has a lovely family.
Yeah, they are. They're great guys. But you can imagine, can't you, two brothers smashing each other's cars up in the corners, you know, and then come in and Dad goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I get it. I get it.
So. Not always easy, but
But you enjoy it?
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic. Right, we're going to let you guys go because you're sweating, we're sweating, you're wearing like race suits, we're wearing shorts, it's boiling hot. We're going to get ourselves reset and in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay with us. We're going to be racing in just a few minutes' time.
Welcome back. We are back in the commentary position, ready for Open four-wheel drive Q3, race 1, and the car on the right is back after a huge amount of work from the Hedstrom's Motorsport squad yesterday. An engine failure in the Polo in the opening session, and then on the way to the grid in Q2 there was a noise, and Peter Hedstrom quite fairly told Philippe to shut the car down because they didn't want to risk any further drama. The car has been sorted in the paddock and they are ready to go.
I loved it when I saw Peter yesterday. There was double wave yellow in turn 1. I said, do you know what's happened in turn 1? He goes, yeah. Daniel has gone straight. Philip has gone straight on. And I said, oh, right, okay. He said, I said, what happened? He said, I told him to brake later. I said, so at least you know he's listening. He goes, yeah, this one time he is listening. So that's Torin on the outside, Philip Torin. Patty Benson missing with a blown engine as well, and no replacement, we understand. Martinovs gets the whole shot ahead of Jake Walker. Walker, though, back up the inside on the brakes, GT driver style. Lovely job in turn 1. Torin gets around the outside first. That's good from Walker. He's very comfortable on the tarmac.
as you'd expect, really, given his experience. We chatted to him yesterday together with his mentor, Buddy Rice, in the studio. Of course, former Indy 500 winner Buddy Rice, who had some great stories. Definitely go back and watch that.
Yes,
from
I was just about to say
yesterday.
that. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Such a great guy.
And just has such a lovely intonation and way of explaining things that makes you smile when you listen to him, really.
Yeah, it really does. What was it he said? He said the joke that puts a little wrinkle in it, didn't he? Which was just lovely American terminology. But I thought it was really, what was amazing, Hal, was he said, didn't he? He listed, and they say if you haven't seen it, he listed absolute legends of American motorsport, IndyCar legends, NASCAR legends, and said they're multi-discipline guys, and this is brilliant for learning. You couldn't have a better sales pitch, really, for Rallycross than what Buddy said.
No, you couldn't. You should clip that up and stick it out. Look at it, they've watered the track now before open four-wheel drive, and it's so wet in the Joker section.
So, quick as that 101.2 from Philip Toran. We saw 59.5 from the very quickest Lites guys, but obviously it hadn't been watered as much as it has right now. Track is still looking super smooth. We are in a bit of an evolving situation. If you have only just joined us, there you go, that's Jake Walker. Just
his windscreen washers are working at least.
Yeah,
Water poured onto the screen.
Oh, I tell you what, he's watering the track a bit more there. He's run a little bit too deep on the loose, and that's what he's learning. He's moving a car around on the loose. You're constantly feeling whether or not you've got grip on the nose or not, turning it in. And
it's quite hard to explain, isn't it? Because a GT car will move around underneath you.
But
in a quite a different way,
yeah.
and sometimes a big moment in circuit racing doesn't even look like anything from the outside, whereas a big moment in rallycross normally means you're on the lock stops and reversing into a bank somewhere. So
yeah,
he's just getting used to that bit more rotation in the car. I mean, they talk about rotation in circuit racing, and you know, it's basically rotation of the steering wheel relative to how much you have to move the car around underneath you to get turned in here. And I think you see that a bit with Jake at the moment in the tighter corners, is he's just not getting the car moving around enough underneath him yet. And I'm sure he will, given his ability, but he's relying on the front axle at the moment. You saw that last time around at the top of the hill, and you just get bags of understeer because there's no grip.
You've either got to left foot it in, give it a Scandi flick in, get on the handbrake, open the throttle up earlier and get the rotate. Yeah, there are so many ways to rotate a car on the loose, depending on whether it's front, rear or four-wheel drive as well. But lots of it, things like brake and handbrake.
But it's within you, and sometimes it takes a while to learn that. Yeah, when I drove Matt Neal's British touring car at Silverstone, it was a very cold, greasy day in November. I got all locked up into what's the tie right-hander after the first couple of corners at Silverstone.
Absolutely no idea.
And it was diff chat, and on the onboard I go for the handbrake to get it turned in, and it obviously doesn't
Didn't they ask you what you were doing?
Yeah.
Matt Neal was like, what are you doing here? And Hal was like, well, I'm going for the handbrake. There isn't one.
Turenne fights back with a solid run through the first race. The track in this hot weather is going to dry and will get quicker if it doesn't degrade, and he's looking pretty good at the moment, but that's the best of a bad situation for Turenne, and he's back in this event critically after the difficulties of yesterday.
He is indeed. Needs to get to the top 12 if he wants to get into the semis, but also looking at it, he is one of our AM drivers, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 AM drivers, so he'll be in the AM final anyway, won't he, with any luck? Yeah,
that was Hedstrom's, Peter Hedstrom's plan yesterday.
Main aim, yeah.
Even though they call it AM because the Swedes letterise everything, don't they, like SM for Swedish Championship, but the target is to be in the AM final and to get as better results as possible. Did you know I could speak English? Because what I just said doesn't really compute.
I did. Yeah, to be honest, Hal, you're making no sense whatsoever. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Philip Markinson, Victor Branks, Yareli Turri, and Simon Olofsson. So a good start by Branks, as you'd expect. Who's arguably in the best supercar on this grid. Gets to the inside line. Olofsson trying to come around the outside. The inside in turn 1, Martinson gets into P2, so Olofsson left at the back of the pack. The FC2 is definitely quicker down the straight with this new gear cut they've got on it, which has made a big difference to its potential off the start, but Franks has got away. Saw Bert last night, and we said, look, he's learning all the time.
Yeah, and a tough field in which to learn. I'll have an argument with you about the best supercar here, because I think...
No, on the grid, not in the field.
Oh, I see.
Ikonen is the one you're going to say is the best one here.
Or the Fiestas, I think there's not a huge amount in it.
Yeah, no, I meant this particular grid.
Oh, I wanted an argument.
Yeah, it's too early for an argument, so I'm going to have to shut you down, Rich. I'll have an argument with you after midday.
Franks is put himself in the lion's den, really, hasn't he, with a brilliant car. He dominated against not the strongest opposition of all time in Valkenswaard, and there's I know we were joking that we knew he was going to continue the season. It wasn't a foregone conclusion, but we're obviously enjoying being in the RallyX paddock. Good for Victor's driving. They're not doing anything in America at the moment, which was what he's done of late. So yeah, but it is tough racing against drivers you don't really know. It's difficult coming to new tracks that you don't know. Okay, he's done RallyX a couple of years ago in the RX2E car. It was very close to winning the AM title, wasn't he, actually, against Maiko
Which was
Tam.
impressive, to be fair.
But there's a lot of expectation coming with a machine gun of a works-built Peugeot, isn't there? And I think he's doing a pretty good job. Yesterday made a bit of a mistake, didn't he, down at the hairpin? I think really should have tucked in and not gone for the big send around the outside. But yeah, doing a solid job. Load of understeer there on the exit of the penultimate corner, but there we see gets the car nicely turned in. That's what we were talking about with Jake Walker in the previous session. He wasn't really managing to do that yet.
No, and he's got wheel. You can see there, Franks has got a wheel on the inside of the ruts even. Yeah, just making sure the car is as tight as can be on the exit, straight, and then on the power as early as you like. Him and Martinson yet to choke, and the gap back to Thury is 8.9, so it might be borderline for Martinson, but I think they'll both get him, to be honest. And then it's about seeing what the pace is like, because we are, again, today we're learning what the pace is going to be on what is a much smoother track at the moment, and I have to say it's holding up a lot better than it did yesterday, thanks to a lot of work from both the RallyX crew, the Kymiring crew, and also the Topainen family. Who apparently bought 70 top loads, was it? Have we changed our minds about how many it was? It was 15, wasn't it? Then it was 40, then it was 70. We don't really know. They were here all night. Who 40, knows?
I was told, but
Ollie said 70 at the last one. But I reckon Ollie Eriksson. But I reckon people are just making stuff up, don't you?
Ollie Eriksson definitely is.
Yeah, he's making stuff up. Yeah, Ollie was in bed. Over the line, Franks does a 309.4. Take a look at yesterday's times. That would have been P2 in Q1, and it would have been P3 or 4 in Q2. So good track conditions, very, very hard.
Someone asks where Franks' chassis is from previously. It's a Peugeot Hansen car. I think it's a 17 car from memory. I've got it written down on my laptop, but it's a 17 car, I think. And yeah, it was owned by the Baumanis team very recently. It's been since moved to Hedstrom's Motorsport. Remember, Peter Hedstrom drove in Estering last year and had that stunning performance, didn't he? Also drove in Pulius. But no, Franks is doing great things in it too.
Yeah,
wins that one with a 309.4.
Second and a first, Hal, in the car in Estering, so didn't do anything else in RallyX.
He finished second in Estering. Didn't he have a great final with Linneman maybe or someone? It was Linneman, yeah.
Linneman and Martinson was third.
Hedstrom's been involved in some great finals, hasn't he, in RallyX history?
Right, Maiko Tam, Mikko Ikonen, Ollie Eriksson, Elias Svensson and Kasper Janssen. Svensson got away well, but on the inside it is Tam and Ikonen, as you would expect. Eriksson moves across to the inside line, he knows what he wants, but Svensson's beating him to it. Eriksson might end up at the back of the pack. If he holds onto the back of this train, he could get Janssen. Janssen might get mugged. Eriksson moves out to straighten out the exit, but Janssen's actually done well and gets past Elias Svensson on the way around the outside. Now that turn was not smooth enough to do that yesterday.
What a move from Kasper Janssen to get that done. You're 100% right, Andrew. It wouldn't have been possible to get that done yesterday because it was too rutted and loose on the outside, and that's where we saw. I was just sort of calling out Victor Franks for making a mistake there yesterday because he'd gone wide, grabbed the handbrake and just got washed right outside. Ollie Eriksson is trying absolutely everything.
He's almost on the
back
grass
of this
there,
pack
isn't he?
to find a way through on Elias Svensson. Svensson having a much better weekend here.
See who goes Joker here. Is Ericsson going to respond? Ericsson does go Joker. So Janssen and Ericsson have gone Joker on the first lap.
Ericsson was getting held up there by Svensson, wasn't he? So clearly wanted to get some clear air, follow his OMSE teammate, Kasper Janssen, who was a good way up the road and definitely won't be holding up Ericsson anytime soon.
Gap is 1.6 at the end of the first lap. It's 4 seconds back to Svensson in third. Then it's only 2.5 back to Kasper Janssen. Janssen was ahead of Svensson. Svensson a little bit too sideways in turn 3 there. If you expect Janssen behind to be executing the super tidy driving if you can. Ericsson's on the back of Janssen as well.
Yeah, so I realised as soon as I said that Janssen was a good way up the road, I looked at the timesheet and realised that they split by half a second. So Ericsson on a big push here against Janssen, who was very consistent yesterday.
Svensson's got to go now, surely, if he wants to defend from those two. Let's see if Svensson splits off to the Joker.
He made a mistake, didn't he? So I would go again if I was Svensson spotted to try and do a clean lap.
Who's gone? Ikonen goes in, and Svensson. Where is Svensson now? I think Svensson's gone.
He has, yeah.
So
Ericsson sends the car into the penultimate corner. There is Svensson at the bottom of your shot.
Must have either made another mistake then, or has an issue on that lap and dropped a load of time. So Ikonen jokers, but I think he's joking into the clutches of those cars behind him. Look at that. Jansson's gapped Ericsson just a little bit in the second. Something must have happened there, Hal, because Ericsson's off the back of Janssen as well. So I don't know what was going on in the infield, and now Janssen makes a mistake. Good to see alternate lines there, though.
I wonder if Svensson made a mistake and Ericsson came across him.
Yeah, got in the way. So Tam out front, the gap is 6.4, so Maiko Tam should take this pretty easily. And then it'll be about whether or not these two can pass Ikonen. I think they will, looking at the just visually. They're close enough.
Ikonen's been in the Joker, Andrew, so...
Sorry, no, they won't. My bad.
Unless they can pass him on track.
You're completely correct, Hal. Well done. So Tam's going to come out miles in front, isn't he? And that's nicely done by Vigo, who takes the shortcut that only the drone can. And Tam smashed this, so now we might get an idea how quick the track is. 3:06 is it going to be? 3:07.0.
Ericsson right back on the rear of Janssen at the line.
2/10 off the fastest time of the weekend, that is. So Linnemann winning Q2 was a 3:06.8. The time for Q1 was a 3:07.8.
I know Janssen's highly rated, but I was thinking, why are you certain he's going to overtake Ikonen? And I realised you thought he
I thought he hadn't joked. Yeah, no, you're right, mate. Yeah, got myself all in a confuddle.
Classic.
This is the line that wasn't possible yesterday, and it wasn't possible because the roost from the inside had built up into such a pile that if you went in, you'd either bog sideways, wouldn't you?
But also, that was the least.
This what happened?
No, this was earlier. This was on lap 1 before Ericsson jokered. So it was later that there was a problem for Svensson, who has
dropped it off on the left,
gone the wrong way.
I think he spun. He stayed on the gas and come round. So why did that cost Ericsson so much time in the background? There he is going in. Is this Svensson losing it? Yes, it is.
I wonder if he's broken a rear shaft or something. But the wheels rotate. Ericsson's just lifted there, I think, not knowing what Svensson's going to do, which is fair enough. And actually, it hasn't really cost Ollie anything in race time because he jokered behind Janssen and then finished right on Janssen's tail. So a sensible, experienced move there from Ericsson to get out of it and not risk collecting a car that was spinning.
No damage, and as you say, no real time lost. Where are they?
3 tenths off the back of Janssen there, so clearly very close. Yeah,
Ollie's P6, Maiko Tam with a 3:07.0. So can anybody better that in this one? Linnemann, Sepper, McConnell, Tapainen and Howman on the outside. I'm excited now for the track conditions and the fact there's a few alternate lines down in turn 2. Should mean for people thinking, okay, you know what, I'll have a crack around the outside. And if you lose the start, watch for people heading out right over to pit wall and then diving up the inside of everybody in turn 1, because the drivers on the inside go defensive and then run wide on the exit, and that can open the door. Well, they're fixing a barrier, apparently. Why they don't want to do that after this race is beyond me, but there were no barriers that I thought needed fixing. How desperately did you, if the last race was safe to finish? I think it could wait 3 laps, couldn't it? Yes, I agree. Whoever revved their engine there, I'm with you. Hurry up. Birds chirping away in the background, soon to be replaced by wastegates chirping away on the run down to turn 1. Let's go. Linneman on the inside of the fastest time of the weekend. The track conditions have changed massively. A couple of SCTs in the mix. Seppa's been impressive since FP1. And Seppa gets a brilliant start along with Tapainen on the outside. Howman too. Now Fraser McConnell coming back through the middle of them, but he'll hit the limit and maybe at the end of the straight. Tapainen turns in across Fraser's nose. Fraz gets sideways, goes late on the brakes and is inside Tommy Howman, who sees it coming. Seppa inside Tapainen. Howman inside Fraser McConnell. We've got turns going on all over the place. Down at turn 2, they're passing everywhere.
Anton Seppa is driving brilliantly this weekend. Tommy Howman, I thought, had lost out badly at the start, but came to the inside and got that move done on McConnell to move up a position. Tapainen, that small mistake in turn 2, just lost out.
Linneman's got McConnell as well in the background, got him in turn 3.
Linneman with another poor start. He was in the studio yesterday telling us that he was on maximum launch boost settings.
Yes.
And
on the laptop.
He had to get back onto the laptop to adjust that. Hasn't got an engine engineer with him. He's doing it remotely himself. Tapainen into the Joker this time around, followed by Howman. It's Linneman and McConnell following Seppa, the race leader, on the standard lap.
Stakes down now from the Joker, comes to Tapainen. Watch for, where's McConnell on the right? I think he's already on the straight.
He is indeed. This is not going to work out for Tapainen, I don't think, if he gets onto the rear of McConnell, if he's got great ultimate pace.
There's a lot of dirt out there. You can see how wet the front of the cars are, wet and dirty the front of the cars after 1 lap, so it is still slick out there.
So Tapainen desperately needs Fraser McConnell to Joker this time around.
Yeah.
Look at McConnell's wipers struggling on the clean windscreen. Tapainen looks to the inside in the left hand, and McConnell gets sideways. Tapainen is waiting in the wings here to make a move on the FC2.
I don't think the FC2s are dialed in for these conditions, Hal. For whatever reason, they just look like they're lacking a bit of turning and a bit of traction on the exits as well.
Tapainen went a bit wide there. That's giving McConnell some breathing space. I think McConnell may go again here, but they might just choose to get out of the fight.
He goes Joker. Fraser McConnell goes Joker, top left of your screen. And Tommy Howman slots into the back of the pack here behind Tapainen. So Howman might get Fraz here. Fraz should have better exit speed. McConnell will appear under the drone any second now. But no, he doesn't. So he's behind. Drops back into P5 where he was before the Joker started.
The difference with the track being much smoother is different, isn't it, at the Joker merge?
Yes.
Yesterday we saw a much better run out of the Joker, and that's not the same
case,
today.
Is it now?
Oh, Seppa touches the bank on the outside of turn 3 over the jump, followed by Yorick Linneman. The gap back to Joni Tapainen is only 3.9. This is going to be very close between the 2 Finnish drivers, Seppa and Tapainen, for the race win.
Tapainen now in clear air with McConnell having Joker. Here he comes. Look at the rotation on this, and you couldn't do this yesterday because none of this was smooth enough. They have done a brilliant job overnight. Hats off to the track crew very much. It was into the Joker on the final lap. Tapainen goes into the standard lap. Seppa goes up high. Watch him drop down the bank now. Yesterday this was a real slingshot, but can he get it turned in time on the right-hand side? Where is Tapainen? Tapainen versus Seppa. Seppa on the run to the line gets it. So Anton Seppa takes the session from Tapainen and Linneman. The time is a 3:04.8, and that is the fastest time of the weekend by 2 seconds.
And that was all in the fight with McConnell, because Tapainen set the fastest lap of the race and the session in the final lap. Linneman had also gone quicker than Seppa during the race. So that was a nice consistent run from Seppa, but I think really Joni Tapainen had the ultimate pace, just couldn't make it work.
Have a look at this down at turn 1. So Fraser into P2 here. Seppa gets away. Now watch. Tapainen just comes in hot. Goes round the outside, lovely job there. Fraser gets super sideways. McConnell turns out here, look, but then gets inside. Meanwhile, Seppa's got inside Tapainen, and then Linneman gets through as well in the next corner. So look how offline both Howman and McConnell are, and Linneman must make the cut back on the exit of 3 to get past.
Tapainen made the move in turn 1 by carrying all that momentum from 3rd or 4th relative to where he was on the grid. But then that momentum and the weight transfer in the car then carried him all the way into too deep into turn 2. So there's a real balance there, isn't there, between getting track position on the exit of 1, but then that also carrying you too far into 2 and leaving the door open on the inside.
Seppa wins the drag race from the Joker Lap merge to to the finish line. Right, that is Q3 done and dusted. We're going to run through the standings in just a moment for you. Anton Sepper, 3:04.8, fastest time of the weekend. Now we know the track conditions change every second, but that is indicative of the track being better than it was. Anton Sepper, currently a top qualifier from Joni Tapanen. So it's 2 Finns at the top of the table. Kasper Janssen, Tommy Howman, the best of the FC2s, P3 and 4. Ulrich Linnemann, Victor Franks, 2 more supercars, along with Maiko Tam and Mikko Ikonen. Then it's Ericsson, Svensson, Turi. Olafsson McConnell at the minute is just outside the semi-finals. Needs a brilliant run in the last one. He's had 2 sessions there, which he won't be happy with. Philip Martin and Jake Walker, our brand new GT driver from the US of A. That is open 4-wheel drive. Supercar Lites, Vitol's at the top of the table with 3:45. So Lucas Anderson is in P2. Look, 2 wins and then 1 bad session. Only 2 points in it, but also Julian Muniz in the mix there. Muniz just sort of quietly gone about it, 1 Q3. And then Darbach and Hagström equal on points. Another brilliant run by Hagström, who's only just up into this category. So, open 2-wheel drive, Victor Johansson with a first, a second and a third. He won't want a fourth, so we want to come back from that. Simon Tiger with the Q2 not going his way. That's Johansson's to lose, really, with a 9-point lead in it, but that can be eaten up. Yeah, don't count out Gabrielsen. Venäläinen, unfortunately, although he's shown on that list, has blown his engine, as has Sari and Utti Ikonen. So I think you won't be seeing a lot of those drivers later on today, sadly. That's it for Q3. We are back. I wrote it down somewhere. 10:30. So 10:30 local time. That's 8:30 in the UK, 9:30 across most of Europe, unless you're in Latvia, when it's 10:30. Look at me with my time zones. What do you think about that?
That's what they are, facts.
We are. Hal hasn't seen Ghostbusters. Remember that. Just remember that if you missed the start of the session. Thanks very much for joining us. What's the time now, mate? Where are we?
8:03 at home.
Yeah, about 20 minutes. It'll be a new stream in about 20 minutes. So come and join us for Q4, the final qualifying session from the Kymiring in Finland. See you in a bit.